a life. What a life. We made it, y'all. First, I want to give a hand to our teachers, families, faculty, and staff because this couldn't be possible without your guidance, love, and support through it all. And I would be remiss if I didn't extend love to my mother, the woman the woman who has pushed me to dream bigger and showered me with an unconditional love since I've come out the womb. I love you, Mom. Class of 2025, we did it! My name is Sikirat Mustapha. And I am truly honored to stand before you today because, for me, this degree represents more than academic achievement. It stands as a testament to the power of faith and is truly a testimony to receive an Ivy League degree, as I will be the first in my family to do so. For me, this degree is a testament to what happens when you learn to do it afraid. Can we look to the person next to us and just say, do it afraid? If you leave here learning nothing else, please remember these 3 words, do it afraid. I still remember the feeling of applying to Columbia and 33 other schools, crossing my fingers and toes with anticipation awaiting decision day, expressing to my Nigerian mother how scared and how afraid I was I wouldn't get into any schools. Her response being, why wouldn't they take you? You're my daughter. Explaining to her, Mom, it doesn't quite work like that. But I did it afraid anyways, and now I've had the opportunity to call these walls home for the last 4 years. Do it afraid became a slogan that I've had plastered on my dorm walls and the back of my phone cases for my entire Columbia journey, from the boisterous halls of Carmen to the deteriorating walls of Broadway. It was a quote that kept me going against all odds that were stacked against me. Do it afraid got me through my first Lit Hum seminar when the professor asked about Socrates and I hadn't done the reading. Turns out he seems complicated isn't the answer he was looking for. It became the courage I needed to read the Iliad and confidently participate in Socratic seminars. It's the anecdote for when I am overwhelmed with the pressures of life, when it's no longer just posting about getting the job on LinkedIn, but now actually having to do the job. For when the what-ifs feel so scary and uncertain that I start to think it might be best to just not try. I want to take a second to highlight the root of fear, because I don't think it's something that we've necessarily been born with, but more so conditioned to believe. I'll tell you a story. So I have an education company that I launched in 2018, where I partner with different New York City schools to address miseducation on the K-12 level. I was talking to one of my middle school students, Isaac, the other day, and he was so excited to tell me about all of his dreams of being an astronaut, a private chef to LeBron, and the next president of the USA. Yes, this is all the same kid. But his dreams were so big, so hairy, and so audacious. They were inspiring because hearing him speak about it made you realize that he actually truly believed that he would do it all, because no one had told him otherwise yet. No one had yet told him to choose a practical profession. He dreamed because he still could, because reality and fiction felt so much alike that he believed that whenever and whatever he put his heart into will surely be his. Sometimes we think much more about the obstacles that will present themselves, rather than being optimistic and living from a place of abundance. I implore you to be more like Isaac. The fear of failure, of rejection, of not belonging is the most effective prison ever built. It keeps you locked away, frozen, terrified of all the possible things that can go wrong. But the greatest act of resistance is to do it afraid anyways. The opposite of fear isn't courage, it's faith. It's believing in what you cannot see, because nothing I've accomplished would be possible without his grace, giving me the strength to do it afraid. When I walked into my internship on Wall Street, I did it afraid. When I started my tutoring company to address inequities in New York City schools, I did it afraid. Whether that's reviving Columbia's first ever gospel choir, or founding an archive for Black style on campus, or writing an 80-page thesis on Afro-Panamanian identity. Do it all and do it afraid. You miss 100% of the shots you do not take. But what they don't tell you is that sometimes you're shooting from the half-court line with shaking hands and a racing heart, with a less than 0.01% chance of making it. But I implore you to still do it afraid. Looking at this sea of blue on Black, sun-kissed faces, I remember why I was able to make it through Columbia. If it wasn't for this community, spaces where I was able to find identity and belonging, whether through Ijoya, Afropolitan galas, or Black Gen Capital, the people I've met have truly expanded my worldview. And I am reminded that community gives us the courage to do it afraid. Because when you're surrounded by people who believe in you, who reflect your excellence back to you, doing it afraid becomes a little easier, a little less lonely, a little more possible. So to the class of 2025, yes, do it afraid, but let's also do it together. As you leave these halls, choose your community wisely. Find the people who will push you to do it afraid. Not because they think you will fail, because that's an op, but because, they're dreamers and doers. Be like that kid Isaac and dare yourself to dream big, bold, scary, and audacious dreams. Class of 2025, I challenge you. Apply for the job you think you're not qualified for. Speak up in the room where you feel outnumbered. Build a thing that no one else has built before. Cure cancer. Live by faith and not by fear, because shooters shoot even when their hands are shaking. Do it afraid because we didn't make it this far to make it this far. And lastly, how does it feel to be young, gifted, and Black?